So, what we need to do is we need to pray, ask for forgiveness, forgive ourselves, and forgive others. It's hard to forgive ourselves, of course, um, but we need to start there. We need to start to forgive ourselves and then forgive others. Okay? We are not going to get to our final destination as far as paradise, heavenly paradise, until we understand that we're not going to get there based on our own actions. That's just not going to get us there. What's going to get us there is grace and mercy and believing in the true God and having a relationship, having a close connection with the true God. And even though I am reading a complete Jewish Bible when I do, and reading other um, versions of the Bible, but it's also very much important to shut out everything and just really have time with the Lord. And that is easier said than done. And I'm no expert to that. I'm not. I'm no expert. But it's very important to focus on that relationship more so than, like, let's say the relationships I was talking about about my family, or relationships that I was talking about with my friends and old acquaintances and new friends and new acquaintances. Ultimately, the only important relationship that we need to be concerned with when it's all said and done is the relationship with the Creator. That's the ultimate relationship we need to be concerned about. And I want God to know me. I want God to know me when that time comes, when it's judgment time. And there will be those who, on the outside, seem as if they know God and doing what seems to be God's work. But God will say, "Depart from me. I don't know you." And as far as disappointment, when I was talking about disappointment earlier, with my other relationships, like family in particular, that will definitely be the ultimate disappointment, is to be told, "Depart from me. I don't know you." So that in itself it's scary. It's depressing at times. But we have to, again, ask for forgiveness. Again, get back up. Try again. If you fall back down, ask for forgiveness. Get up. Try again. And it doesn't matter what other people think, or whatever about you, or how I feel about other people. My opinion don't even count. Okay? My opinion is obsolete compared to the Creator's opinion and how uh, he looks at his creation and how he feels about his creation, his opinion about his creation. That's all that matters. And sometimes I have to turn off the TV, turn off the radio, because it's like, it's distracting. It really is. And even if you tune in TV and radio and internet websites and stuff that's supposed to be about God's business, that can be distracting at times. So, because it can be less about God and more about the minister, less about God and more about the congregation's happiness, or the congregation's entertainment, or the style of music that they like, or what time of day or night the service is going to be. It's like less about God and his business and more about humans' comfort, their likes, the luxuries, and stuff like that. Um, some of you who keep up with me or have in the past, you know that I've had walked away from a particular ministry, not my faith, but this particular ministry. And I found it interesting because I kept in touch with one of the members there. She no longer is a member there because she moved away, but she's still in contact with a lot of people there, and and that's fine. But after about a year, because I would have Bible study over the phone with her, and she never was very, I guess you could say, nosy about why I left or whatever like that. And I didn't give her details in particular. I just said I just didn't feel comfortable. It felt like the mission was shifting in a different direction. I just felt like people got off track as far as leadership. And I just left it like that. And she didn't ask me anything else or whatever like that. And I told her, as far as tithe and offering, I would rather give it to poor people, widows. That's just where my heart is to help those who have nothing. I was borderline poor, so I got an idea. I mean, I wasn't eating like our trash cans, okay? I wasn't fighting over food with wild dogs, but I kind of got an idea when you're barely making it. So that's pretty much where my heart was then and is now. It's like, if I'm going to give something, I want to make sure I give it apparently based on scripture, what God says we should be doing with this money. And I just want to make sure that I'm not giving it to a building or something like that. Even like I was reading in scripture about giving to Levite priests. And I'm like, okay, who are the Levite priests right about now? Where are they? Because according to the Old Testament, we're supposed to give to the Levite priests. Also, according to the Old Testament, Levite priests, they get their portion from tithes and offering. Okay, that's their gift for administering the laws and things that everyone else needs to follow by, including them. But that was their job, and that was pretty much generational. So I'm like, okay, where are these Levites at? Because I'm sure most of these so-called ministers and pastors are not Levites, okay? So that was one of my concerns too. Like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be giving to Levites. Also, according to scripture, Levites aren't supposed to inherit property. And I was like, oh, okay, now this is starting to make sense. Now I understand why some congregations, they own the house that a minister and his family lives in. Their church owns it because you're putting your money into the ministry, into all of that, and you're supposed to take care of your spiritual leader and his family. That's what you're supposed to do. And they don't supposed to be, living like, they're poor or whatever, but also it's kind of checks and balances that they're not being abusive with the tithes and offering. And I'm saying to myself, so is that what we supposed to do with our ministers? The church supposed to own the property, the house, the land that the house is on. The minister and his family lives there, and once the minister leaves or whatever, he or she does not have ownership of that property. That's for the next minister and his family. And so I thought about that. And then I think about these ministers that own several properties, jets, and you know who I'm talking about, where they feel like they have to be omnipresent, like they're God, and they're not. And I'm like, do you know how many people could have been fed? How many widows could have had a place to stay? But yet you put that money into luxury. Yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at right about now. I'm not perfect. I'm not claiming to be perfect, but I just pray that God continues to bless us, give us grace and mercy, and that we continue to stand and we continue to do what we ought to be doing and why we were created. But until next time, toodles, blessings.